Hello everybody and welcome to a video where I will be explaining the client in general. If you have played League of Legends before and you're experienced and you know your way around, this video probably won't be what you will be looking for, but I know that there are people out there who have never played League of Legends, and when it comes to all this they just feel lost, so this is going to try and help them. Now what you have is you have the general news where where Riot, every time they do a client update or a patch update, there will be something about it here. For example, Worlds 2014, end of season rewards, and there was a recent champion rework. Now there are also skins that Riot are trying to sell you, which you don't need to buy, but they do definitely make your champion look a lot nicer. There's also down here in this corner where you can watch people playing ranked games, which if you aren't level 30 or if you just want to learn new things or see games from different people's perspectives, you can just view ranked games, which can be quite helpful. This is your summoner level. As you can see in the corner here, it says that I'm level 30. And this is my summoner name, riot points, which you don't need to get, but you can swap real money for in-game currency. There are also influence points which are unlocked through playing games, and you can buy runes, you can buy champions, you can even change your summoner name with them. So this is the shop. If it will load, here we go, where you can purchase riot points, you can give people things. This is just the default one and it shows you all the things that you can buy. You have the champions in the game. It defaults to not owned, but if I click that, it has a list of all the champions in League of Legends. And you can adjust by filters of price, which is the cheapest ones on top, and then as you go down they get more and more expensive. Alphabetical release date, etc, etc. Riot also do sales for champions, so all of these champions are on sale. To buy a champion that's on sale, it would be, if you click on it, I'll use a different example, not owned. You click it, and then there you can purchase it for either 790 riot points, which is the currency that you spend for real money, or the currency which you get from playing. I personally would recommend just playing, because obviously buying things is a bit unnecessary unless you obviously have the money to throw around. Skins which make your champion look different when you're playing the game, they're not necessary, you don't need them, but they do if you main a champion, like if you play that champion a lot. Obviously it helps to just look the way that you want to look. Again, price can change anything from between 260 if they're on sale or something like that, all the way up to 3,250 for the most expensive skins. Ward skins, which wards, you can place them and they just look differently. Summoner icons, which you can buy. This is my summoner icon up here. You click it and you have a few default ones, but you can unlock more as you play. Here are runes, which are actually quite an important part of League of Legends, but I'll come back to those later because it really does require a much more in-depth guide, basically. Here's where you can buy boosts, where you get an influence point boost, which is here, but it costs riot points, where you can get XP boosts as well. So if you're not level 30 like I am here, this bar as you play will fill up, and when it fills up, that's when you get to the next level. So it's kind of like all of the Call of Duty players when they prestiged, for example. Bundles, which are various things, like if I were to click it, it would say all of the skins for Scion, the Fnatic team. Anything with a cross on it is something that I already own, and then there are skins as well. Account, which is where you can transfer your account or, like I said, change your summoner name. Codes are if you were part of an event where you were handed a code, you can type in the code, submit, and then you get whatever it was. Purchases is where you can see all of the people, all of the things that you've bought, and you can also refund things, but you don't need to. I would recommend you hold on to the refunding for skins, because you can just buy another champion at any given point, really. Now, that being said, this is your profile. As you can see, I'm level 30. I'm in gold 4, which is my ranked standings, but you don't need to play ranked if you just want to play for fun. Leagues, which is all of the ranked stats. Match history, where it says all of the games that you've played. Champions, which are all the champions in League of Legends again, which primarily you can filter to if you want assassins, fighters, mages, marksmen, which are also known as AD carries. Now, with the champions, if they have an exclamation mark on their icon, it means that they're on 3-week rotation, which means that even if you don't own the champion, you can still play as them, which is a great way to learn new champions or just to have fun and see what champions you'd like to play. Availability are you can choose between owned, not owned, etc, etc. Runes. Now, this is something that I was talking about earlier, which I will come back to. Masteries, this is where you can choose, or every time you level up, I'm level 30, every time you level up, say for example you were level 1, you could only put 1 point into something. And then as you level up, when this bar fills up and you become the next level, you can put another point into things. Now, because I'm level 30, I can put just points into whatever I want, and you can put a maximum of 30 points because there are only 30 levels. Now, there are different trees. There's the offensive tree, which is mainly damage orientated. Once you know it's completely damage orientated. There's defense, which is taking damage, and then there's utility, which is just, I would class it as more of a support kind of thing, where there's like mana regeneration, movement speed, and also every time you put a point into one particular thing, if you see it says 1 mana regen per 5, and then if I put the next point in, it's 2, and the next 3. There are also things where it says that it requires 4 points in utility but 3 in meditation, which is this one. So I'd need to put a point into one of these things in order to put a point into this, and that unlocks that. And then as you progress, there are more things that become available. A lot of the trees are mainly like this, where you would need to go down a certain path. Spells. These are your summoner spells, which in addition to your 4 abilities and your passive ability, you can take 2 summoner spells which come in very, very handy. I'm talking about these can definitely change the impact of the game. They have a major impact. It also if you click it, it tells you what level you need to get it, and then what game modes you can get it on, and then obviously a description of what it does. When you start off, obviously it says level 1 for a few of these, and then level 2, level 3, level 6, etc, etc. There are different combinations because you can take 2 of them. Once you reach level 12, I highly recommend that you take flash, because it can be used to flash over walls, to flash away from bad situations, or even to flash into situations to get a kill, for example. It can be very, very helpful. Item sets are very, very helpful. If you like to play a certain champion a certain way, and instead of going the recommended build path, you can drag and create new sets, and then you can switch between that and then recommended as well. Also, this is the help dialog, and then this is the client settings, for example, where you can change the sound effects volume, music volume, notifications, language filter, things like that. Now back to runes. Runes play a vital role, and they can definitely change the impact of a game completely. Now, this in the shop is where you go to buy runes, and when you start off, you can only buy tier 1, which tier 1 you get a level 1, tier 2 you get a level 10, and then tier 3 you get level 20. Now, I recommend that you don't actually buy any runes until you can buy tier 3 runes, because these, whereas they can come in quite helpful at the start and they're incredibly cheap, as you can see, you don't need them just at all. You really don't need them. They eventually become pointless once you get your tier 3 ones, and you won't be using them ever again. And there's no way to get rid of them apart from using the rune combiner, which it's pointless doing in my opinion. But runes can grant different buffs. For example, if you click the marks, which are red ones, there are so many different options to choose from, and on your rune pages you can fit 9 of the same type on the slots, which I'll show you in a minute. But they all cost different prices for what they give, and they change. That they can have definitely big impact. Like for example, this one here, 4.26 armor, and it means that when you go into the game, you instantly have the advantage of having an extra 4.26 armor over everybody else that doesn't have it per se, for example. But I'll show you my rune pages now. This is where you go to show your rune pages. For example, this one, attack AD armor. There are 2 types of damage, AD, AP. AD is attack damage, AP is ability power. And I just have it titled AD armor to help me understand, to know what's going on. Now here there are 9 slots. As you level up, like I said, similar with masteries, you can only put 1 rune in each slot until you have all 30, and then you can fill the page up. So I will clear this, and as you can see, this is what your rune page will look like when you first open it. And from there you can decide if you, once you buy your runes, they all come into this little drop down menu here. Now you can see there, for example, that's a tier 2 rune. It says on the top left corner of the box that it's a tier 2. And I believe I have another, there's a tier 1, which I don't use anymore because I have all of these tier 3 ones. Now, when you start off, you won't have that many, if any at all. So there's no point wasting your influence points to buy your runes until you can fill up your rune page, basically. Or just even if you can buy one whenever it becomes available as you go along. This says that it gives me plus 0.95 attack damage. So I right click that and then it fills it, or I can left click and drag. As you fill up the page, if you notice here, it says it gives you a summary of all of the advantages that you have, for example. So I have an armor, an ability power, magic penetration, attack speed, two attack damages. It totals everything up and then it shows you on the side here what your advantages will be. And for this page, it's called AD armor. So what I want to do is I want to put some physical damage on here, fill the red ones up. Now, because I've run out of space on the red ones, it won't let me put any more on. 1 second. Oh, this is your notifications bar. This is where you can choose your status, and you can be away or you can be there. Global chat rooms, which I don't really use, but a lot of people do, and then your friends list. This is where people that you meet and that you add in the game, all of their names will appear here. And as you hover over it, you can see their status, which is Nouveau's, is why am I lagging. It says their level, he's level 30, he's won 97 ranked games, and he's in gold 4. I'll send him, double click to send a message, click there, making video. Explaining runes. And then you can minimize it. Now that it's totaled up to 8.5 physical damage, which means that whenever I go into a game, I'll instantly have the advantage of having an extra 9 armor, 8.5 physical damage, and for these I will put down as a lot of people have different combinations in their rune pages. For example, these runes. These runes. I have 9 of these, which I can put in the blue slots. So what I'm going to do is, you can see here what it's totaling up to. So if I put 5 of these ones in, these are flat, so it's a solid 1.34 magic resistance. And then I put in another 3 more. It says magic resistance at level 18, 9. So as I level up, it gives me 0.16, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you get to level 13, which is the highest level in the game that you can get, it's plus 3, which is a lot more than plus 1.34. So if you're going to play a character that you know you can get lots of levels on, having 27 magic resistance is an awful lot more effective than only having 12. But for the purpose of this rune page, I'm gonna have the flat ones, so it's just a solid 12. Now quintessences, you can have 3 of these. You can have 9 of those, 9 of those, 9 of those, and then only 3 of these. These ones arguably are the most important ones, because they cost a lot and they give huge bonuses. Like for example 5 ability power, and because you can have 3, that's a 15 ability power increase. AD armor, I usually would just have the flat ones. Flat quintessences of 2.25 attack damage on each one, totaling up to 15 physical damage, 12 magic resist, and 9 armor. That's the whole rune page. Now there are other ones which you start off and you can have 2, which I recommend you have 1 for attack damage and 1 for ability power, because in League of Legends there are two different types of champions that, well, there are two different types of damage, sorry. There's attack damage and ability power, which each champion, as you buy either attack damage items or you buy ability power items, they do more damage, or they get some kind of scaling on their abilities. There are other champions in the game which scale with different things, such as health, for example, and it's a different case with those, but they still need defensive things. Oh, also, these runes, the red ones, these are usually damage orientated ones. A lot like the masteries tree has 3 trees. So there's mainly the damage ones, there's mainly the defensive ones, and then there's mainly the utility ones, or a lot of the time people use these for defensive ones as well. Quintessences can just be whichever. There are quintessences that give things such as movement speed, which are very helpful, and I have one of those here, which gives me each quintessence gives me 1.5% movement speed, and I have 3 of those, so it's 4.5. That doesn't sound like a lot, just 4.5%, but that equates to about the same as just having boots to start the game with. It means that I have to sacrifice some physical damage, but because of the movement that I have, if I have a champion that does a lot of damage anyway, then I will usually take this page. Also, you can purchase more rune pages in the rune page, or the runes tab on the store, for either 590 riot points or 6,300 influence points. Now, hopefully at some point I'll be able to make another video explaining which runes to pick at which point, but for now this is just the basics, and I hope it helped. Alright, take care, bye.